Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So in the last episode, we kind of explored more of the chasm here that we got dumped off in after losing like all of our gear, getting trapped by the Tukari, and more or less losing all of our companions. And so we are still cut off from our void ship. We have no clue when we're going to get all that back. But we did get Argena, Abelard, Yarlet, and Pascal back. And it kind of made us make some decisions, because we could have actually left each of these companions to deal with whatever they were dealing with in here by themselves, or just completely off them, especially Yarlet, because Yarlet was the person who led us here. Thinking back on it, we actually didn't have to take Yarlet onto our ship, so I'm very interested, not that I would do a second playthrough, because I'm actually kind of interested to look at this now, because I haven't looked at this. It only says I've had in-game 4 days, 9 hours, so take that as you will. But that's still 96 hours. Actually over 100 hours in the game then, yeah. And if you didn't have Yarlet in your group, how do you end up here? Because I'm assuming this is a major plot point, and you would end up here no matter what in Chapter 3, so I'm curious to know how you would end up here. But regardless, you probably would end up here without Yarlet. But we only have 5 of our 6 companions here, so I'm not sure what has happened to Cassia and if we find anyone else here. Because when we went to the pit, or not the pit, the mangled sector, I believe it was. No, it was the pit. We had the ability to select our companions. So we can go out with more or less companions, so I'm not sure if everyone else is here. And after fighting in the arena, the rack here said the people behind this door wanted to meet us, where before we couldn't go past this door. So that's where we're going to start off. Very bad recap of what happened in the last episode, more or less. The bug that they implanted in us that's poisoning us, that menace, I believe it was, is still in us, as you can see by this debuff here. Mind Magus Agony. So we'll see kind of what is there, but this seems to be where we need to go. So I'm very interested to know where Cassia is, what's happening to her, because she's the one person we haven't seen. There is this little flying creature that seems to be helping us more or less. Kind of interested in seeing them. This one's interesting. Why do we just keep stumbling through here and collapsing? Sheets up. Oh, we were supposed to meet some kind of surgeon guy, so I'm assuming this is who wants to meet with us. Maybe he could take the bug out of us. Conrad Voigtger, Hyfractum Danra, and there's a lot of spirits in here. Theodora's in a cage, Master. Yeah, spirits in cages, fun. Do I need to speak to the spirits? Hi, spirits. No, I needed to go this way. I was turned around for some reason. Arc Mechanicor. Theravantas? Oh, they're a fun-looking one. The creature in front of you is a patchwork of skins stuffed with darkness, corruption, and sharp objects, staring at you with its scalpel eyes. Scalpel eyes is interesting. It grumpily remarks, "Such a disobedient specimen. You're still not dead? An anomaly? Its foul, corrupt thoughts reach out to you, groping at your face. I need help. But I see you will soon become a very obedient specimen. Convulsive spasms, hysterical reactions. Come here." The creature pokes you in the chest. Its triangular fingernail easily penetrates your skin. A strange sound throbs at the edge of your awareness, a sound similar to your own scream. Uh-oh. Why is everyone watching this? Why is everyone watching this? A grotesque spider-like figure looms over you. Its limbs weave frantically, chittering and clicking as they rip something apart, then stitching it back together. And you realize its canvas is your flesh. The Xenos' gaze is indifferent, and its low voice echoes through the room. The sample has been extracted. This specimen is alive, body and mind expected to function within normal parameters, monkey. What happened? The control worm in your nervous system detected in my proximity. It signaled it was dying by injecting a lethal dose of hallucinogenic euphorants into your bloodstream, a resourceful individual. Is that thing your pet? The Dukiri holds up a pale maggot, the same one you saw in Miacidae's hand. As you watch the tool appendages form a swift dissection, the maggot's flesh bursts under the scalpel claw and blossom into a disgusting, slimy flower. The Xenos' slow manner of speaking creates an unnerving dissonance with the frantic movements of its limbs. I grew this specimen specifically for you, monkey. During your interrogation, it intoxicated your feeble senses to limit unnecessary resistance. What a curious experiment it was. I usually extract control worms from specimens posthumously. You possess some degree of bodily fortitude. We're not going to say anything to that. The Xenos thoughtfully clicks its appendages, studded with dozens of needle-thin stingers. Are you Tervantius? You are absolutely correct, specimen. I am the Archmechaniker, Haemonculus, and the conductor of this place that staggers the imagination and soul, my Anatomical opera. So what do I owe you now? You will serve me such as life in the spires. An Arbanan urged me to pay attention to you allegedly extremely gifted self. Specimen, let me see if you make for a good tool. Same as you, little moth. The Xenos points a mangled limb at your lit, unless, of course, darkness of Camorra burns you as fast as the others. What does this mean, Haemonculus? Who knows, Assyrian? Who knows? The Xenos makes a chuckling sound. You, a Dukari, would do business with a human? How remarkably open-minded. Do business? He looks puzzled. I will not do business with you. I will use you. You survived a battle in the arena, which means you have uncommon parameters for your kind. You are a lesser organism, true, but the towering heights of my wisdom make it difficult to distinguish between your inferiority and the inferiority of most of my kin. So what do you want from me? You will return to the arena of the Fatal Thirst. You will kill a few of the WH's fosterlings for me. You might even spill the blood of one of the blood-spun prostrolites. They are long overdue for a small lesson in humility. They have forgotten their place. They lack respect. They do not appreciate my work. They fail to recognize my authority. Still staring into the distance, he continues to list his grievances and maniacal thoughtlessness. Oh, lovely. He makes a snapping sound. Here come Abis and his fosterlings. The leader of the blood-stained prostrolites has paid a visit to the Anatomical opera. Take this opportunity to study them properly. They won't dare touch you here. If this gets me out of here, sure. This response is acceptable. If you behave like a good specimen, monkey, you may eventually receive my help in escaping. The Flesh Master is mad enough to help us escape in favor of his own unholy designs, but the price Ellen talk will be unfair and terrible. Obedience will be rewarded. Take your crude gear with you. I abhor such technological banality, but as a creature undeveloped as you may find use for it. You hear the joints of his arm click. Once you are finished with this, go and look at the ones who will be your executioners when the time comes for you to die. So is this my old gear? This is my old gear. We're going to take the casing chest plate here, but this is going to be interesting because so much of the gear that we already found is better than what I had. The sheer primitiveness of your technologies. Go, specimen. Deliver Tarventus's message to the blood to the arena wages. I would like to speak to you about a member of my retinue who is delivered to you. Which specimen in particular interests you? Cassia. My navigator Cassia was with me when we were captured. Where is she now? The female with an extremely strong connection to the Veil was a number of rare monkey mutations, most notably a third eye. I am studying the influence of complete isolation from the Veil and outside world on the specimen's abilities, sanity, and physical condition. She no longer screams inside her reservoir, but she is certainly still alive, and I am not yet ready to conclude the experiment. You tortured Pascal, why? I was curious to see what symbiosis might emerge from the rudimentary monkey augments and my own unflawed creations. Much like cartilage infused with steroids will swell a subject's feeble body, new computable circuits sprouted throughout his algorithms. I found the process enlightening. I want Cassia back. Please relinquish them. Why would I, specimen? With a full escort, I would have better chances of exceeding and contributing to your plans. Then find yourself other fighters. The chasm has enough prisoners, mercenaries, and gladiators. My specimens are not yours to waste. We need Cassia back. We'll find a way to free her, no matter what you say. Once they have exhausted their utility, I will let you take the scraps. Yikes. Hey, Miacidae's over here. Can we talk to Miacidae? Let's talk to Miacidae first, and then we'll do the gear. Tall Ducari, whose body is riddled with painful-looking puncture wounds and dotted metal rings and clamps, lets out a chuckle as you approach and begin speaking in his language. Your eludicator hisses to life, translating the word. Look, Carrion, is this the monkey that cost you your place at the Archon's side? His eyes flare with turquoise fire at the sight of you, an immediate, uncontrollable urge to kill. The Ducari seizes the blades hanging from his belt and freezes at the shout of metal-studded Xenos. Careful with the meat for the arena, Miacidae. If Sinistra is short on toys for her fighters, you will be punished again. She seems to enjoy pitting you against Chimerae. Maybe this time she won't deem it necessary to give you back your skin after you slay them all. Motionless Miacidae turns his head towards his kin, and you notice a thin red stripe on his neck below his ear, like a fresh stitch. Shaking with barely contained rage, the former Draken stares at you with dark eyes. So I'm gonna snap it shut and address him. Your kin don't seem overly fond of you. This witch cult scum is not my kin. Half-borns like Abes here belong in the filth of the chasm. So he can talk. He cuts himself off, his gloves squeaking in protest as he clenches his fist. So I saw what happened at the trial. You were tricked. Tarventus's creations must have been a low-grade imitation if the mirage did not completely overwhelm you. Even if what you say is true, what is it to you? I'm trapped. You're trapped. We can help each other. You help me. Why would the quarry help the hunter? If you expect me to believe that... I mean, we can always just make a deal, Miacidae. You help me take out my enemies, I help you take out yours. He lifts his chin and lets out a hiss, more pensive than angry. Anbes makes an impatient gesture. I am tired of listening to you and your old friend whisper in that primitive babble. Enough. We must go. Miacidae grudgingly obeys the order, but as he walks away, he cannot resist tossing another unreadable look in your direction. He might help us out. Alright, can we get over here? That might be something for the Haemonculus then, huh? Like, there's a way to get to that loot. I know it.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
Ulfar. Singing softly under his breath, the man of enormous proportions is intently stripping raw meat from a bone with his teeth. Oh, he's a space wolf! His unwashed red hair is falling into his face, his beard is matted and bloodstained, and the aforementioned teeth look more like fangs than any other human equivalent. A less knowledgeable person might not recognize this giant humanoid, but you are aware that this is a space marine, an angel of the Emperor. I'm pretty sure he is a space wolf. The scar tattoos on his body, which first appeared abstract and primitive, formed together an angular image of a wolf's mouth with bared fangs. This person must be the genetic offspring of Lehman Ross, the space wolf of Fenris. Fenris Holjiak Vlak.
Fenris Yoda, mortal. You know the old words. Good words. Strong as a rock. Sharp as the blade of a force axe. Deadly as a kraken's tooth.
I love his voice. The red-haired giant's jaws stop at work. Emotions are hard to read on the crudely human face, but you think you have surprised him. The words are spoken in guttural rasp of an invertebrate killer, wholly in keeping with the man's formidable appearance, but you did not expect him to slip into a poetic epitaph so readily.
What do you want?
Taking a piece of meat from between his teeth, the warrior resumes his murmured singing. Between the lines of his songs, he tosses out. So let's listen to the song. You do not know the language. The sound seems crude and mangled, but not entirely lacking the harsh dignity of a form of Gothic, while sounding similar to the rumbling of a landslide. Sharp and choppy, guttural phrases tumbling forth in a harsh rhythm. Let's try to join the singing? Failed. You tried and close your eyes and pick up the song's rhythm, slip into its sharp and idiosyncratic flow. Alas, your words do not seamlessly merge into the stream. As soon as you sing them, you can sense how painfully misplaced they are.
You are no skilled, I see. It is not for your fireside verses that your friends esteem you, I wager.
Who are you?
I am a wolf.
How does he keep you in a cage?
For his own safety. When I am not busy killing inhuman spawn in the arena, the Xenos fear my will.
I never thought I would see an angel of the Emperor to be taken prisoner and be content with subjugation.
Watch your tongue, servant, or I will rip out your liver and eat it, so I can discover from what tainted source comes your stupidity.
How did you come to be here?
My pack answered the Inquisition's call and came to the Koronus Expanse. There was a battle, and then...
I wonder how many of them actually came here, because if I recall correctly, there's only something like 500 Space Marines of every chapter. So, like, there's only... I could be very wrong with the numbers, but there's only... I know there's only a set amount of every Space Marine sector. Or every chapter, so I know there's only a set amount of every Space Marines. Let me actually look this up. A standard Warhammer 40k Space Marines chapter has a nominal strength of 1,000 Space Marines, organized into 10 companies of 100 warriors each, based on the Codex Astares. But actual numbers greatly vary, some chapters being larger, like the Black Templars, or being smaller due to casualties, often exceeding the 1,000 when staff are counted. But not counting staff, it's like just the 1,000 Space Marines, because there's only like 1,000 seeds of them. And those seeds once... I wasn't a Space Marine player, so I didn't get too much into the lore, but based on what my friend who did play Space Marines and read a lot of the lore told me, if those Space Marine seeds are lost, they can't reproduce those Space Marines. So this guy being here is a big deal. If he dies and they cannot recover his gene seed or whatever it's technically called, it's been years since I played this. They cannot get Ulfar recreated, which is what they do. Like when Space Marine dies, they reconstruct Space Marine, which is why they will invade planets to get Space Marine gene seed back. Regardless, him being here is a huge thing.
The young wolves yearning to be meat for their brotherlings. To a feast of bolters they went out roving. Though they were but few, one long fang with them went loping. Not to see them cut down by scythes unclean. The pups he sent scattering, and there stood alone the paths guarding. For a foe he long spied, one worthy among unworthy. The song of swords singing, they clashed with clamor and skill, until stood the old wolf upon the bones. Then, by the birds of battle, was he brought down.
Oh, so the old space wolf died?
Was that clear enough? This saga sounds less interesting in prose.
So, are you planning your escape?
And why do you want to know?
Because I am planning my escape. Well, no more questions for you now. Can we study the man for anything? Huge body with straggly, overgrown red hair perfectly suits the deep, chilling voice of the man, or beast in the guise of a man. Tribal scar-like tattoos cover the chest, arm, and back as you glimpse the intricate braids in this mass of unwashed hair. His body bears so many pale scars that you cannot count them all, and muscle bulge beneath the skin like boulders. He looks like a statue carved from stone. I'm not sure if that's all Space Marines look like that, or Space Wolves in particular look like that, just because they were very different from normal Space Marines, but it is clear that captivity has sapped the prisoner of none of his physical power. Your assessment is confirmed when you spot the remains of a Ducari in the pile of carrion at his feet, likely one of the Haemonculus' servants. The Ducari flesh appears to be making a fine snack for his new acquaintance. I mean, a warrior such as yourself could prove useful to me.
To get what you want, you will have to convince two very headstrong individuals. Me and my captor. That claw-handed Xenos.
Let me see what I can do. Because if I can get a Space Wolf on my team... So what do you expect of me? No. I require your aid? You forget yourself, specimen. Go and serve my will, and should I ever decide to show you favor, I will do so at the time of my choosing. So my success benefits you. It's reasonable of you to help me. If you are unable to make yourself useful, I would rather wait for you to die and find myself a better tool. You should be worthy of my attention, not a drain on it. Is there anything I can do to offer a being of such brilliance for the attention he may graciously grant me? Your paltry possessions do not interest me. If you had something that could intrigue a master sculptor such as I, perhaps a remarkable piece of organics, then I might grant you a few short moments of my time. If it's a sacrifice you want, artisan of flesh, then I am ready to offer one myself. Will you take my flesh? I will take more than flesh. I can extract something far more valuable than a shred of your organics. This does interest me. I will not remove much of her. Her functionality will not suffer. Yarlet, why This will be a step upon the path of atoning for my errors of my past. Elentok, if a sacrifice will bring us closer to your salvation, I will commit myself to his hands. No, we'll speak no more of this. She frowns and you catch a strange look in her eyes, a mixture of sadness, relief, and shame. We have something, though, don't we? This is going to be hard to find with all the stuff I just got. And I still need to go through all my inventory stuff, which I'm going to cut my recording for. But there's the head. I have the synth flesh. Yeah, here it is. Chameleon skin. So I'm going to save here because we might be able to give him that flesh as some kind of payment. I require a moment of your precious time and I am willing to pay for it. I met a monster in the mangled sector, a creature that can steal years of victims' lives and mutilate bodies. Are you able to hear that? Oh, the commissar's head. That was one. After rummaging through what you have, he pulls out a fragment of flesh that caught his eye and splits off a piece of it and places it in its mouth, thinks for a while and finally concludes, curious. You have earned my attention, specimen. Speak quickly. Yeah, mangled sector. Whatever happened to Abelard, heal that. I recognize the mark of Chintos' exquisite feeding. What an honor it is for you to be the vessel with which my marvelous creation satisfies its thirst, and to give your modest life force so it may be transformed by an energy converter. Fear not, specimen. It is within my power to reverse the effects of its touch. The Chintos was an interesting experiment, one that can convert the life force of its victims into fuel. But it was a flawed, disobedient specimen that escaped. He glances at you mockingly. I do not recommend escaping, specimen. The pain from the transformation only stops after I inject the blocker, and I only do that at the end of the procedure. Do you wish to spend the rest of your existence with the sensation of your skin melting and your bones snapping? Yikes. So Abelard should be fixed. Let's see if we have anything else for him. Arena Beast's Claws. I would like to take the Space Marine that you keep in a cage. The monkey male with an altered genetic structure, such phenomenal parameters. I studied 2 other specimens of the same breed, but you have yet to untangle their genetic secrets. He also performs well enough in the arena. Losing this final specimen would be an undesirable outcome. The loss of some monkey could never impede the work of such a great mind of yours. Perhaps the genetic subtype of all 3 specimens was defective, and this is the cause of my limited success. In that case, loss of this specimen would not be significant. I recommend pain as a means of pacification. And you can take his armor. I found it entirely unintriguing. He hands you a bone key. Did we just get power armor as well? So I want to see something here. Are we still suffering from any horrible effects? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so I'm not sure we can get another thing out of him, but let's see if we can pay with anything more. Malice's hide, there we go. My condition has been rather grave since the arrival in Camorra. Can you mend my body? Let's see what kind of interesting damage your body has taken and which parts of your miserable organics can be improved without inflicting any substantial harm on your sanity. Try not to scream. Some specimens end up tearing their vocal cords during this procedure. Then again, you will scream whether or not you want to. What did that actually do for us? It doesn't look like anything actually happened. Huh. I don't know. And then do we have a final one we can give him? Arena Beast Claws. Okay, so I need equipment. The servants are always dragging worthless trifles in here. I have no use for them. Find yourself a club or a sharp stick suited to your abilities. You could try something more advanced, assuming you are not afraid of accidentally killing yourself with it. So can we just take all of these? Love Equilibrium. So, that's the Raven. Targeted harassment. We get 20 agility and perception and deals 250% more damage. Whenever the obstructed enemy is hit by an attack, excluding the Cyber Eagle's attack for the first 2 times in a round, the Cyber Eagle attacks that enemy as well, dealing 200% more or 100% more damage. If this attack hits, they become staggered. Astarte's Chainsword, that could be good. One of the Steel Triad weapons, or shields, I need this. Red Wolf Skull, where it gains 10% armor and immunity to all critical hits. Scald Furs. Oh, so they're giving us stuff for the Space Wolf. When the wearer kills an enemy, momentum is additionally increased by twice the target's difficulty tier. And Lullaby of Shael, even better sniper rifle. When the wearer's attack with this weapon scores a critical hit, the base damage is increased by 3 until end of combat. Okay. What are the Freerunner boots? Immune to slowed and immobilized effects. Black Haze Venom Blade is a one-handed exotic sword. Attacks against targets suffering from toxic. Apply toxin effect with the same power level to all enemies with a 2-cell radius of target. Okay, that could be good. Thought I already had the exoskeleton stuff. So all that is really good. So I am I'm assuming I'll get those goods later. And then we can get Ulfar here. And I was going to say I'm going to spend some time to get everyone equipped. So I need your help. The prisoner looks at you expectantly without stopping his chewing, but his expression shifts subtly, as if his affected crudeness of mind and manner has been replaced by focus and cunning. Recite the warrior's litany. Even a heretic or a non-human can wet his profane blade in the blood of enemies, but a true warrior of humanity does not fight for gratification or trophies. He carries out his will, for that is his duty and his blessing.
You speak well. I have heard these bookish words many times before, but this is the first time I have heard them spoken with such resolve. I see that you believe in them, that you live by them. I respect that. I will help you. Let no one say that I forgot my duty to the Allfather.
Oh, this is going to be great if Ulfar is joining us.
It seems Tervantius is not as clever as he likes to appear if he's letting me out of the cage. The joke is on him. Good steel I have already. But if we are going hunting, I will need my wolf skin.
I can get you that.
What did you say your name was?
Let's get hunting, Ulfar. It's Miacidae von Valencius. Don't you forget it there, buddy. Ulfar is a space wolf, a mighty space marines. His proportions instill respect in his allies and fear in his foes. But because Ulfar takes up 4 cells instead of 1, certain mechanics may work differently for him. He does not use cover or conventional human armor and weapons. Ulfar's unique ability allows him, once per combat, instead of losing consciousness due to having wounds reduced to 0, to incapacitate him for 2 rounds. In this state, Ulfar cannot be targeted by attacks or suffer damage. He also counts as full cover for his allies. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So we get to level him up because he is only level 20. I can't believe we're only supposed to be level 20 at this point. He's a soldier arch militant, but I'm going to count him as a... Actually, let's look at his gear here quick. Because he looked like a melee. Yeah. So melee with a different bolt pistol. So I'm going to build him that way. We also have some gear to put him on him. And then I'm going to like go through all the gear I have. So I'm going to cut the recording here because a lot of the gear, and I'm just going to put an example here, is Pascal's melt-a-gun that I had. If I can find it back here, is a lot better. So right now, the plasma gun he is using is 22 to 30 damage with 50% over penetration, and has this plasma explosions caused by this weapon affects targets in a 2-cell radius. Type of damage dealt aside from the wielder is taken as warp damage. So it kind of had this does a lot of damage, but it had a side effect. The Stella Neutrona has none of that and does more damage while still having, the only thing it's missing is a little bit more armor penetration, which oh well, and a little bit less dodge reduction. Otherwise, the base damage on the Stella Neutrona is more than the max damage on the Glow of Dead Stars, and it has more over penetration. And on over penetration, damage dealt by this weapon suffers no penalties. So we are going to be using that on Pascal. That's just one thing that I'm going to be possibly using here. There's a lot of gear that I'm going to be looking through because there's a lot of weapons that potentially are better for everyone. So, and just a lot of gear. So with that, I'll be back and then we'll level up the big guy because I feel like that'll be fun. So he has 80 strength, wow. But I feel like we could maybe get this wolf skin. I do want to see this here really quick. Oh, do you have to be Adeptus Astartes for this? Okay. Because I did take a thing where Abelard could use power armor, but I guess he can't. Okay. So I guess only he gets to use power armor, but maybe we find different power armors. Alright, so I think I got everyone geared up as best they can.
Fleas and marked territory.
The interesting part here about Ulfar is he actually can't equip many things, which I found very interesting, including some bolters, which was kind of funny. He can only equip things that are notated as okay as like Adeptus Astartes equipment. So like I could put the heavy bolter on him, for instance, but we'll just keep the gear he has on him because that seems all right. I'm just now noticing that I did not put a necklace tag on him. I'm not sure anything I have could go on him. Yeah, well, oh well. But now I get like 15 levels with him, and he's a soldier arc militant, which is kind of amazing. And the interesting thing with him is that he is a melee mix, or like a shooting melee mix, whereas Argenta was not. So I kind of wanted to play around with that. He also uses bolt weapons, so that would be a very good take on him. But we're going to take Always Ready, so he starts with 2 stacks of versatility, because that goes into his build a little bit. We're going to take... I want to lean more into his weapon skill here, so we're going to do that. I am going to take confident approach with him, just so I can get that guaranteed crit, but I think we can make that not be a thing that takes away what versatility normally does as well. So I will be looking for that. Let's take Koronus on him for now, because I don't have anything with that. Yeah, but we'll take critical versatility as well. Grab that weapon skill. Actually, really not sure what to take with him. Bonus to dodge might not be the worst thing in the world since he can't take any cover. Oh yeah, here we go. We're going to take Calm and Steady to keep the usual bonuses from versatility. Take Koronus again. Take weapon skill. I'm going to level him slightly differently here. So the first time he reaches 0 wounds, he instead restores 20% of his maximum wounds. Koronus again. 5 plus number of versatility stacks to armor. So, oh, that's just... So we'll take dependable, so he can get some extra armor. Weapon skill again. Characteristics training toughness, so he can get some extra health. Can only take one more. I think I want to take Reckless Rush here, because Devastating Attack doesn't do any extra damage. It just does bleeding with his dagger. And if I put a power sword or power axe on him, it would inflict blinding as well. And Reckless Rush would get him more movement to get into melee. Broad Expertise gets him weapon skill and ballistic skill, just meaning he can hit. We're maxed on weapon skill here. And his strength is really high already. So let's get him more health, since I think he might need that. Keep stacking the Koronus. If I take all out, attacks do not cost MP, which sounds really good. More toughness, and then final common talent. Lifetime of Scars seems like it would give him a lot of survivability. So 9 less damage from fire, toxic damage, and bleeding, which Ducarry can inflict a lot of. And then I'm going to do can use both the soldier and the warrior, or both of his heroic actions in one single combat, just not in single turn. And then we get exemplar levels, which are going to be interesting in of themselves. So Cataclysm is a big one. I really want that. Now, Crushing Assault. Character's first melee attack each round deals 2 additional damage for every cell between the character's current position and the spot where they started. And he can move a lot, so that could be a lot of additional damage. So I'm really hoping that this character stays around, because he seems that he could do a lot. But I'm actually going to start off with Crushing Assault here. So the more he moves, the more damage he deals with his melee attack. That seems like it could be really fun. And then I get a first tier archetype where I was kind of running out of things. I can't use cover, so Exploit Surroundings is kind of Enough bullets for everyone is actually really good for him. Second attack in a turn deals 13% more damage, who have not suffered damage from a soldier this turn. So if I'm not using burst attack and I'm using melee attacks, that could be really good. We'll take Koronus again, because he has really high Koronus. And then I get my second archetype, which whenever I use or their ally uses a heroic action or desperate measure, I get +1 and +10% damage on all attacks until end of combat. I mean, Accustomed Glory could just be really good then, so we'll take that. And he is up and running. So that was a little bit, but we're good. Now I just want to check. How long was the first part of this? 45 minutes, okay.
I forge a path through the sagas.
So let's go back to the Streets of the Chasm. I love how big his model is. It does make me wonder if we will get power armor for anyone else, because no one else could use his power armor, but you can take a perk to equip power armor. And if he'll join us, like, leaving here. But it sounds like we need to go back to the arena. So we'll do just that. Oh. If thou sees a flaw in me, smite me. Argenta's hoarse words are nothing like the usual clear, almost melodious voice she uses for prayer. Smite me. She looks up at you, her dark eyes gleam anxiously. Rogue Trader, you find me at prayer. Darkness surrounds us, and we will require all the spiritual fortitude our ravaged hearts can muster. Remain steadfast, and we will break free from the darkness. Thank you for your words of solace, Rogue Trader. I mean, if you need to pray, if you need to pray, because whatever gets you through this. Argenta pauses, contemplating something. A shadow crosses her face, followed by a flash of unreadable emotion. Tell me, Rogue Trader, do you trust me? Please look into your heart and tell me what you see. Argenta, I have trusted you with my back more time than anyone else other than Abelard. You will carry us through this. I do. You are a faithful ally. But what if I am undeserving of your trust. Rogue Trader, to lose hope is to err in the eyes of the Emperor, and I am drawing closer to erring than ever before. The darkness all around me thickens, and the clutches of our captors are strong. If I am to give myself fully to the battle ahead, I will need all my strength. To summon such strength, I must purge my soul. Tell me, will you hear my confession? RG, what are you holding back? Of course I'll hear. What? I killed Theodora von Valentius. Are you saying you're also the one who killed Mort? That would answer a lot of questions. It was one bullet for each of them, and they were not expecting whoever took them out. That would answer a lot. I love Abelard's. What? Your alert raises her head slightly and looks around, clearly not fully understanding what is wrong, but sensing the shift in the mood around her. Yes, it was me, not your treacherous kin, Voidrigger, not the cultists. Me. She speaks with a strange blend of pride and horror in her voice. This isn't the, it's because of me she's dead. Argenta's trying to say that she outright took out Theodora. Why? I remember every last detail. The ship was under attack. I grabbed my weapon and I ran to her side because I thought it was my duty to protect the Emperor's chosen. And what did I witness when I burst into her study? Theodora von Valentius, a rogue trader holding a sinister sorceress artifact, radiating with a profane light. It was a lens like the ones we saw in the Rykad system, except smaller and far more potent. I know instantly it had to be a weapon of the Archenemy. I had seen objects like it before on Salus Prime, the planet where I had sought the sacred relic and where I had nearly died at the hand of the cultists. So many things were made clear to me in that moment. So piercing was the revelation, so obvious the answer of how those heretics had found their way to the planet, known to none but House von Valentius. Oh. Argenta, you did do it. Oh. Oh. Argy, you're not gonna stab me in the back, right? So before I read more of this, Abelard right there was her right hand. And, you're saying this right in front of him. Do you know how he's gonna react to this? I fired before I could even fully comprehend what I was seeing. Terra's light must have guided my hand, for one shot was all it took. The auto pistol's burst destroyed both the Archenemy's artifact and its owner's black heart. But I did not regret killing her, nor do I regret it now. Theodora had succumbed to the Archenemy and its dark sorcery. The entire attack on the ship was merely the result of her and Voidrigger feuding over their spoils, and I realized it in my heart the moment I saw the artifact in her hand. But standing in that same room was the Honorable Arch-Militant, a devout servant of the Emperor, and the reason I had made it off Salus Prime after the cultist attack. When he saw me firing at Theodora, he instinctively rushed to protect her. I killed him too. Argenta lowers her gaze for a moment. Do you remember the orphans I once asked you to meet with, Rogue Trader? One of the boys was the son of that man. My whole life, I had sworn I would not allow villains to orphan children of the Imperium, and then I did so myself. Lady Theodora, Mort, fell at the hands of one meant to protect the servants of the God Emperor. I never doubted the security of the Von Valancius bloodline when you were close. But now the very foundations on which the power of the rogue trader rests seems to have been violated. Abelard looks at Argenta with visceral loathing in his eyes, uncovered by either courtesy or respect. Meanwhile, this guy's just standing back there going, I see. Uh-huh. Argenta looks at you anxiously, waiting for your reaction. You kept this secret all this time. I did, and I despised myself for doing so. The Sisters of Battle are taught to laugh in the face of lies and intrigue, but instead, I feared that I would face immediate execution for the murder of the rogue traitor, and I hoped that people would think that it was Voigtfigir or the cultist who got her. And I was right, but that lie, it burned in my throat. And here, in this horrific reality away from Terra's light, I realized that I could keep my silence no longer. Now, I always thought that the Sisters of Battle were as big as Space Marines. And seeing these two by each other, I'm not sure about that anymore, and I'm going to have to do research into that on my own time. Because she's the size of a normal human. Meanwhile, he is towering over us. Now, I didn't trust Theodora from the get-go. The fact that I was on her ship, something was off. And I'm pretty sure I made that pretty well known. Mort, on the other hand, well, I understand why that gets to you, because he's the reason I'm alive too in this game. So, I once again kind of wish that we could combine these, because she should have told us the truth. However, what's done is done, and I hope you will learn from this, but right now we really need to think of a way to escape. So I'm gonna say that. What's done is done. I really do hope you will learn from this, but right now we do need to escape. Learn? I don't know what I'm supposed to learn. Must I spare a heretic in order to save innocent lives? Must I try to reason with them? Must I ponder these I must have pondered these questions 1,000 times. I still do not know where the truth lies. I am glad I have revealed the truth to you, rogue trader. This dishonesty has been driving me out of my mind. And meanwhile, Ulfar is just standing back there.
Seize the opportunity.
And we will pick up from here next time, I think. Because I still don't have Cassia back. I don't know what's going to be past the arena. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do a lot more in here just to get out. Yeah, I was going to do the arena, but thinking about it, I don't know how long the fight's going to be. I don't know. It could be a series of fights, coming to think of it. And then we're going to have to go back to this guy in the opera. And then we're going to have to keep doing this until we both get Cassia back and we can get out. So we're going to be stuck in here for a while looking at it. But we'll continue from here and just see what we can do, I think. And it is interesting that we did get a Space Marine. I am wondering if I am going to keep him in my party, or if he's going to be temporary. Because we have seen some quote-unquote temporary party members already. But I hope that's not going to be the case, because I do like the guy. And we'll go from there, I suppose. So that'll be it for this time. As always, wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please, have a good one.